friends and visitors and faithful YouTube subscribers. This is Jane Rodriguez reporting to you, adding a little something to my blog today. It's a continuation of a thought that I've been piecing together since I was a kid. And in the light of all of the phenomena that seems to be increasing, whether Bigfoot sightings and Wolfman sightings are increasing because the veil is getting thinner, or simply because I've noticed that everyone's noticed that the rest of the animal kingdom, all of that push for conservatism and ecology purification, or trying to bring back the balance to natural habitats for the animals' sake, to keep it balanced the way Mother Nature has. All those efforts have paid off in this generation right now. So there's bald eagles coming back, there's more deer than ever before, there's coyote that live right up the road from me, a pack. So all of that, there's the food source for those physical flesh and blood creatures is there. But I also have to say, repeat myself like a broken record, that things like Bigfoot and Dogman, yes, they are physical. Clearly, there's reports of 15 feet freaking tall ones. Those are the more humanoid looking ones that look more like Neanderthal. But yeah, there's no denying that they exist physically. But they are half Raphaim, half fallen angel. So that means that they can do things that you will never be able to understand and explain. I get on these message boards. I don't do message boards. I mean, I see the YouTube comments on some of my favorite people, and they just cannot wrap their mind around the fact that, if the Bigfoot's eyes were glowing, this is a quote, if the Bigfoot's eyes were glowing, that means that they could not be able to see outside of their retina because it's glowing, because it's emitting light. Forget about everything that you think you know about the world, okay, buddy? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but you're still trying to decode reality with your puny little, spectrum that you're able to see out of. This is old news, by the way, that, something called quantum physics and quantum mechanics, that a particle can exist in two places at the same time. The same friggin' particle can exist in two places at the same time. I mean, what does that sound like to you? Have you ever heard of a witch or somebody astral projecting, flying around outside of their body, being in two places at once? I've had that happen to me before. It's called a doppelganger. So, by the way, if you still think witchcraft and conjuring spirits and Bigfoot and all that stuff is so unscientific, this is the world that the masters of reality have. This is the version of reality that they want you to think, that it's not scientific, when in fact their own scientists, let's say the fathers of modern rocket scientry themselves, Jack Parsons for one, I've mentioned him before. He was a rocket scientist. He was born 100 years ago now. But his whole thing was to reconciling what appears to be as people who don't think about it enough, the two opposite ends of the spectrum, which would be the spiritual and scientific. Alright, come on. They're not separate. They're the same thing. Okay. So he devoted his scientific career to reconciling the two that appear to be scientific. And guess who he worked with? He worked with Aleister Crowley. Fascinating, huh? So, there was a headline on June 17, 1952, slain scientist, priest in black magic cult. John Parsons was a handsome 37-year-old rocket scientist killed Tuesday in a chemical explosion. Was founders of a word semi-religious cult that flourished here about 10 years ago, read the report. So read more. The Hell Portal, where NASA's rocket king hung out with L. Ron Hubbard. So it says in the Bible that Satan is the prince and power of the airwaves, and that Satan and his kingdom, his hierarchy, you heard the expression, it's better to reign in hell than serve in heaven. So his kingdom and hierarchy, it explicitly says in the Bible that it lies in wait. And so the whole point of it is deception. So they will use any technique that they can at their disposal, simply out of their hatred for you, being a human being, ruling what God wants you to rule, which is this physical plane of existence, and transcending that to spiritual, okay? Meshing the two. You could do it satanically, you could do it with witchcraft. It's easier. It's carnal. You get real good results that way, but what's at the end of the rainbow there? It's nothing but destruction, death, lies. So that's the whole point of these false religions, Catholicism, Scientology. Pick one. Anything where it says where you cannot go to God directly, which we can do via Jesus Christ. That's the remedy right there for all these problems where you have issues with demons. So anyway, I know I keep on going off onto these different segues, but there's just so much. So in this article, often an enigma to his friends, he actually lived two lives, John Parsons. In one, he probed deep into the scientific field of speed and sound and stratosphere. And another, he sought the cosmos, which man has strived throughout the ages to attain, to weld science and philosophy and religion into a utopian existence. I've always been fascinated with these brilliant minds. Goethe's Faust comes to mind, where the doctor he's a doctor, he's a physician, he's an astronomer, he's a chemist, he's adept in magic. So when you come to a certain point of realization through your studies, you're forced to see that there is no divide between philosophy, magic, and science. There isn't. And furthermore, there's proof that there isn't. And going on right now, there's CERN. Why do they have Shiva dancing the cosmic dance of death, destruction, and rebirth? Why did the Italian physicist, who's in charge of the thing, say right off the top, we are trying to bring over an entity from a parallel dimension, trying to bring one over, and we're trying to send stuff over there too. Yeah, but these people, you guys don't. You need to realize how evil they are, because they're involved. They're trying to normalize right now things like necromancy, which is having sex with dead bodies. They're trying to normalize right now pedophilia, forced sexualization of children, and cannibalism. Yes, they are. So there was a book that appealed to me also when I was in college, and it was called, my favorite author is Umberto Eco. It was called Foucault's Pendulum, because again with the same theme as Faust, which I found in high school. It was kind of the same thing, because I'm always interested in who the masters of reality are. So we have this fake, phony reality that you turn on TV, you see MSN, you see Fox, you see all this crap, and it's or MTV, and it's this fake, phony reality. And if you've noticed over the recent years, they have been, remember in the 80s and early 90s, you were mocked if you said you saw a UFO, or the discussion of UFO, like, oh, you're a freaking weirdo, you had too many beers with a tinfoil hat, kind of thing. But now, think about all they said. Necrophilia, pedophilia, cannibalism, magic, high weird falutin science that's going into other parallel dimensions, and UFO, ancient aliens. All of that is the masters of reality are making it not a taboo topic anymore, but making it more mainstream. And why? Oh, do you think they want you to know the truth? Do you think they want you to be empowered with knowledge? No, it's their version of the truth. They don't want you to know. Why? Because these scientists are working with satanic forces. And why? Because the whole thing about Satan is that he's selfish. And he wants everything for himself. And he doesn't care about the greater good, the people. So what does he have to do? He has to take that kind of spirit that resides in these men and women. They want to take it all for themselves by any means necessary, and they revel in the carnality and the destruction. So this book called Pendulum was, along those lines. It's still the best book I've ever read, a novel in my entire life. It talked about something called the Axis Mundi. It talked about things called homunculuses that are made out of like mare's milk and sperm and stuff and spit, and that you can, with witchcraft, you can make this little being. It talked, and the Axis Mundi is the navel of the world, and the navel of the world, the ancients were talking pre-Adam, through Adam, before the flood, when the gods were walking alongside men and telling them what to do. The gods, the angels, before they left, they made portals, and the strongest portal in the world is Axis Mundi, the navel of the world. Now this has been an idea that's been in ancient history and everything forever, but it's not going to be mainstream. Ancient historians of antiquity know. But anyway, Peru is thought to be that, and Peru is always a topic in Ancient Aliens, right? So anyway, the navel of the world, there are stargates, and so I wanted to title this video I'm making about, I like ancientorigins.org.net. I've been subscribed to them since they came up. And so being as such that Peru is got the Nazca lines and everything, and it's got these stargates that have even been on Ancient Aliens, of course they're not going to tell you the whole story, because if they tell you the whole story, then it's going to involve the Bible, and they don't want that. So, the paradigm shift required three-fingered mummified humanoid found in Peru may change the story of human origins. Let me say that again. This has come out worldwide. This is June 20th, 2017. Paradigm shift required three-finger mummified humanoid found in Peru may change the story of human origin. So here you can see the little, oh my gosh, the little guy. You can see him. So it could be a hoax. There have been several. So they're guardedly putting this information out. But so going back to why has it been less stigmatized to discuss UFOs and anomalous things? Why is it, there's millions of shows on TV right now about paranormal witness, and there's usually, they can't get the thing to get out of our house. They call them ghosts. I don't believe they're ghosts. I think that, the Word of God says that once you're absent from the body, you're present with God. So how can you be haunting? How can your grandma be haunting your house? That's a familiar spirit. That's a spirit that wants you to think that it's your dead grandma, when in fact she's either, she's in heaven and wants you to get sidetracked, and then you get a priest in, or you burn some sage, and sage will work for, a day or so, or 6 weeks, but it doesn't work permanently. The only thing that works permanently, and what these shows will never discuss, is an authentic relation with your Creator via Jesus Christ. So, this story. Now, if it's true, or if they decide to legitimize it and force it to be true, and going along with the trend that we have going on right now, the masters of reality will use this along with maybe CERN, or maybe a UFO or something, and say, oh yeah, you know, we're not the only sentient being in creation on Earth. We were created as a slave race by our masters, the aliens. What are aliens? Excuse me a moment. Paradise Lost. It's all a game about information. You know, Alex Jones, the InfoWare, it's all about information, and what you know can save your friggin' soul. And also protect your family too, because if it's gonna come down to this kind of stuff, I mean, hell, Trent Reznor in his albums have been talking about this for years, which is why he's always been one of my favorite dudes. But you have to pursue something to its root, the how and why of why things are, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not anything special. I have, like, you know, my fair share of problems and personality, and, you know, just like everyone else. But I am eternally curious about what's going on. So yeah, so that thing with 3 fingers in Peru, where in Peru is always the place, by the way, where they find, there was, I was listening to Steve Quayle, and he was saying that he has a buddy, well, somebody he met, who he looks like the Dos Equis man, the most interesting guy in the world, that, but he's an archaeologist, and he was granted permission to these ancient ruins that, like, nobody is permitted access to, but he was, and he uncovered, stuff that that was very, 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 very ancient, and also he discovered ruins of what he believes. Now he's not a Christian guy, as far as I know. He's a secular scientist, archaeologist, but he said that this was the most powerful stargate for the ancients in the world, in Peru. So here's more pictures of the thing. So I don't know. To me, it kind of looks iffy, but who knows? They'll use whatever they want to force their agenda. But anyway, I just gone all over the map here, but I wanted to get that off my chest. And if you have anybody who's watching has any ideas about decoding ancient history and archaeology and science, I mean, there's so much to say about it. I don't have the highfalutin studio, or even the knowledge of how to make these videos to show, but I'm gonna figure it out. But anyway, if anybody has anything else to say about it, more information, please get a hold of me, janeg123@hotmail.com. Also, if you have a story that you would like to share with me that deals with UFOs, demons, Bigfoot, dogma, any kind of cryptid, holler at me, janeg123@hotmail.com. And as always, have a blessed week and take care. Bye.